Hello everyone, welcome to the course Data Structures. This is N. Thulasi Chitra, Associate Professor, Department of CSIT, MLR Institute of Technology. Today we are going to discuss about built-in data structures in Python, and this is a overview what we are going to discuss under this session. These are the built-in data structures as we have discussed in the previous session. Those are the built-in data structures are list, tuple, followed by you have the dictionary, then you have set. These are the four different built-in data structures we have. And this is a non-primitive, as we are going to, as we have seen already about data structures classification. We have primitive data structures and non-primitive data structures. Under non-primitive, we are discussing about the built-in data structures. That is nothing but the list, tuple, dictionary and set. In the upcoming sessions, we will be discussing about the user-defined data structures also. Let us discuss about what is list. List is a data structure that builds into Python and holds a collection of items. List is nothing but it is a data structure where it can hold a collection of items. Items are nothing but you may be having 1, 2, 3, some integer values you can hold, or you may hold some floating point values like this way. These are nothing but the collection of items. List has a number of important characters. When you are going to represent a list, you have to remember all these characters are going to be represented for a list. What is the first character? Let us see. Let us see the first character, what is represented for a list. List are enclosed in square brackets, right? As we have discussed, list is going to be represented with square brackets. For example, this is a way where you are going to represent item 1, item 2 and item 3. All three are separated by commas and we are going to represent with the square braces. If you can see, the list is going to be represented with square braces. This is the first point which you need to remember when you are going to represent a list. And lists are ordered. When you are going to represent a list, all elements are going to be in the ordered format, specific order. That may be of increasing order or it may be of decreasing order. Some order it is going to follow. This enables us to use an index to access any element or any item. Based on the list which we have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now you can able to access this particular element based on its index. Suppose the index starts from 0 onwards, 0, 1, 2, 3. If I want to access the element 2 means I can represent with a list of 1 so that I can able to access the element 2, right? That is the meaning of the second character. And here you can see the example, the fruits. As I told you, it is an ordered set of elements, right? Alphabetical order it has been stored, all the elements, apple, banana, cherry and mango. Now, if I want to access a particular fruit, based on its index, I can able to access. If I am going to access fruits of 0, means this is the index 0, so that I can able to print the value of apple, right? And if it is of 1, that is banana, so I can able to access banana based on its index. And if it is of 2, then I can able to access cherry. And if it is of 3, then I can able to access mango. Based on the indexes, you can able to access that particular item in the list. This is one of the character. And coming to the next character, lists are mutable. What is the meaning of mutable? Which means you can add or remove. That means we can do some modifications in the list. When you have created a list, after creating a list, if you want to do some modifications on the list, that can be done. What type of modifications we can able to do? We can able to add an item or we can able to remove an item from the list which you have been created. right? This is one more character. Let us see the example for this, how we can able to add an item into the list, how we can able to remove an item from the list. These are the numbers, which is a variable. Number is a variable where we are going to store all the items in a list, that is 10, 20, 30 or the items that are going to be stored in a variable called numbers. Now example. Now how we can add an item into the list. We are going to have a function called append, right? We are going to have a function called append. By using append function, we can able to add an item into the list, right? Numbers dot, this is a variable name, dot the function name we need to specify, and we need to pass the value which you need to add, so that the element 40 will be added into the list. Now if I am trying to display the list of these numbers, so that I can able to get 10, 20, 30, 40. This will be added into the list. This is my list. Okay. Now how to remove an element from the list? Removing means we are going to have a predefined function called remove. By using that, we can remove an element 20 from the list. Again, we need to use our variable numbers dot remove of 20. That means we are going to, if I am trying to print the numbers, it will be removing 20, and so that you can print 10, 30 and 40 will be printed. Okay. And then modify an item. Suppose I want to change the given item into a new item, right? I want to replace an item with a new one. In that particular case, number of 0. In number of 0, what is the element we have after removing? This is the list we have 0, 1, 2, right? Now in number of 0, what is the element we have? 10. So that I am going to replace number of 0 with 5. So that what you are going to get, this will be replaced it with 5. If I am trying to print the number, print of numbers means it will be printing the list of what? 5, 30 and 40 will be printed. Like this way, we can do some modifications in the list which have been created. And the next character where we are going to see is list elements do not need to be unique, right? List elements do not need to be unique. They don't need to be unique. You may have the item duplication is possible. You may place the same item for any number of times. That is, duplication is possible, as each element has its own distinct place and can be accessed separately through the index. If the same element is repeated for number of times also, the index will be different for each of the item, so that we can able to access that particular item based on its index. That's why you will be having some duplication of items in the list. Let us see the example how we are going to represent the duplication items and how we can able to access it. Let us consider these are the colors red, blue, red, green and blue, right? These are the items in the list. Now you can able to see red is repeated for twice and blue is also repeated for twice. Now what are the indexes for this? The indexes are different. This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, 3 and 4, right? Now for each item, here we are going to have the different indexes. Based on that, if you have the duplication of items also, based on that indexes, we can able to access them, right? And if I want to print color of 0 means it is going to print the red color. If I want to print color of 2 means it is also going to print the red color. If there is a duplication, still we can able to access both the items here. And color of 4, if I am trying to print, then it is going to print this blue color, right? Like this way, if you have any duplications also, that can be able to access and able to print all the items in the list. Now let us see the another character. Elements can be of different data types. Elements can be of different data types. You can combine strings, integers and objects in the same list. In the list, no need to have the same type of data that can be represented. We can store different data types also. That means you may be having a combination of strings can be represented, integers can be represented, or you may represent some object also in the same list. Okay, let us see one example how we are going to represent this combination of different data types in the list. This is my list where I am going to have a string, I have an integer value, float value, and a boolean value. All these are different data types, right? Now I can represent all the different data types in my list, and how we can access it based on its indexes, we can able to access it. If I want to print the list, so that by giving its variable name, I can able to print the elements in the list. If I want to access, as I told you, if I want to access a particular index so that it is Alice, the data type of it is a string, so that it can able to access different data. We can able to show this is one different data type where that is present in the list. And the next element where we are going to have is 25. List of 1 will be storing 25, so that it is of integer type. And the next one we have is list of 2, that will be printing the value of float. And the last one where we are going to have is true, is nothing but the boolean value. If I am trying to print a list of 3, it is going to print the boolean value true, right? That means we can able to access, or we can able to give different data types in a list. Next, we will see the basic example for the list. This is a basic example where we can able to see list is assigned with some integer values, so that we can able to print it. If I am going to print the list, it will be printing the values of 3, 6, 9 and 12. And we will see the execution of all these examples in Python interpreter in the coming classes. Okay, we need to install. What is the procedure for installing all these things we are going to discuss. And if I want to know the type, what is the type of list it is, in that particular case we need to use the type function to find what is the type of list is going to represent. Here, if you can able to see the output, when I am going to print the list, it is going to print the list as 3, 6, 9 and 12 with the square braces. And the type of list is of class list. Here in Python, everything will be represented in terms of classes, so that we are going to get if it is of integer type, or if it is of float or boolean or anything, it will be represented with a class of that particular data type. Here it is of list, so that we are going to get class of list. Next, coming to array in Python. How we are going to use arrays in Python? What is the comparison we are going to do with the list and array? What is the difference you are going to find with the list and array? That one we are going to discuss here. Yes. Here, array is also a data structure that stores the collection of items. As we have seen already, list is also a data structure that will store the collection of items. Similarly, array is also going to do the same. Then what is the difference we are going to find? Like list, array is also ordered, mutable, enclosed in square braces. Similarly, like list, we are going to use the same properties of list in the arrays also. But what is the difference we are going to have? And can able to store non-unique items also. Like you will have some duplications also can be done in the arrays. But coming to the thing where you are going to find the difference between list and array. But when it comes to the array's ability to store different data types, the answer is not as straightforward. It is not as we have seen in the list directly we are going to store it into a variable and by giving its different data types. It is not possible with arrays. It depends on the kind of array we are going to use. What type of array we are going to use, that depends on that. We are going to store different data types into an array. To use arrays in Python, we need to import either array module or NumPy package. by using these two methods only, we can able to store different data types, right? Not similarly like list, we can't do that. We need to import these two libraries, either of these two libraries, and we can able to do our operations with arrays. For example, how to import that libraries? Import array as ARR. That is the meaning of, what is the meaning of it is, array we are going to replace with some alias name in short as ARR, right? Or if you want to import the library NumPy, you can import it and we can give a short name for it as NP. We can use the short names instead of writing the full name as array or NumPy. We can use these alias names and we can write our any of these functions, append, remove, these functionalities we can apply for the arrays. Okay. Next, array in Python. How we are going to represent array in Python? By using array module. By using array module, how we are going to represent the same type of items into an array, right? This is the way where we are going to represent our same data type of elements into an array. How we need to declare this? Array 1 is a variable. As I told you, this is a module where we are going to use array. ARR is the module which we have been imported and that has been given an alias name, and this is the array name, and I represents what type of data type we are representing, type of code we are using, or type of integers we are taking, right? That one, right? And how many integers you want to pass, those number of integers we are passing, right? And here we are going to print whatever the array elements we have been created, those elements we are printing, and its type also we are going to print, right? Now let us see the statement which have been written here in a clear way, what we are doing in each of the parentheses, what we have been passed, right? Here ARR represents the array object. This creates an array object. As we have discussed, this whatever the statement we have been done here, that will be creating an array object. Now what is this I represents? I is the type code, which means array will store only the integer type values. Here if you can see in the example 3, 6, 9, 12, in this example all are of integer type. If I want to store the integer type of data, we can use I here. Similar to that, if you want to have some float type of data, we are going to represent with a different symbol. That one we will be discussing in further classes. Now up to now, if you could understand, if I want to represent some integer values, I am going to use I here, right? Now 3, 6, 9, 12 are the elements stored in the array. These all the elements that are going to be stored in an array. This is one way of representing arrays by using array module. The other one which you have is NumPy array in Python, using the other method where we are going to use the NumPy arrays for supporting different data types, right? That is the previous one. We are going to have the same data type, but here the NumPy will be supporting for different data types. Now what we are going to do here, just array2 is a variable, NP is nothing but the module which we have been imported for array, and the shortcut name for, or shortened name for, NumPy, right? And this is the array where we are going to represent, and here we are passing different data types. This is representing different data type, and these are representing all integer values. This is a string and these are the integer values. Different data items or data types are passing into an array. Now based on that, we are able to print the array elements, and if you want to find the type of it, that can also be done. Let us see in detail about the statement which we have been represented here. Here mp.array, this statement is going to create an NumPy array. When you are giving np.array of the list, that is array which have been created, For that, an NumPy array will be created. Then the array contains different data types. As you have seen, it is having the different data types as numbers and integer values also. Now, NumPy converts all elements to the same data type. Now, we are having different data types. Now, what this NumPy is going to do is, it is going to convert all the elements into the same data type. Into what data type it will be converting? So, the integers becomes strings. Whatever the integers you have, you are finding in the array, all those are going to be converted into strings, right? That is the purpose of NumPy array here. And coming to the difference between list versus array, I hope you could understand what is a list and what is the array now. Let us see the differences what you find with list and array in some more in detail, right? Arrays need to be declared, lists do not. When you want to use arrays, you have to declare it by using either array module or by NumPy module. You have to import them and then you have to declare them, right? For list, no need to have any declaration since they are built into Python. They are already built-in functions, so that no need to declare it. Lists are created by simply enclosing a sequence of elements in square braces, as we have seen at the starting itself. Creating array, on the other hand, requires a specific function, either an array module like this way, or we can use NumPy module. Any of these modules are to be used for array creation. Because of this, lists are more often used than the arrays. Because of this array module importing all these things, we are going to use list most frequently. Arrays can store data very compactly and more efficient for storing large amounts of data. When you want to go with large amounts of data, in that particular case, we can go with the arrays. And one more thing, arrays are great for numerical operations, but lists cannot directly handle mathematical operations, right? Here, arrays can be doing some numerical operations can be performed with arrays, but with the list, we can't do that mathematical operations. Let us see one example here. This is based on array. I have declared an array of all integer types. Now I can able to perform some division on this array elements. Array divided by 3, right? This is a variable which have been declared for array, and object has been created. So that I am going to perform the division on this array. I can able to perform it and type of that particular division also we can able to find it. Now, after dividing this one, 3, 6, 9, 12 by 3, what is the resultant value you are going to get? You are going to get 1 point. That means in terms of floating value, it is going to get 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is 3 divided by 3. It is going to do 6 divided by 3, 9 divided by 3 and 12 divided by 3. It will be dividing the values in this way, and so that it is going to display in the terms of floating values. That's why you are getting 1 point, 2 point, 3 point and 4 point. And the type of division where we have performed is, this is of NumPy, where we have been used for arrays, so that it is going to return its type as NumPy. In the same way, if you are going to apply for the list, it is not possible to perform any mathematical operations on list, so that it is going to display type error, right? This is the difference where you are going to find with list versus arrays. So, we have discussed the built-in data structures in this session, and we have discussed about the list concept and what is list and what are the different types of characteristics that we are going to be remember when you are going to represent a list. And we have seen the difference between list versus array also, right? This is the thing where we have discussed under this session. I hope you understand this session. Thank you.